Now, the last part of government intervention, we're going to look at semi-state companies or semi-state bodies. These are state-owned companies that are involved in the provision of a wide range of goods and services to the public. Examples include Bus Éireann, Irish Rail, Dublin Bus, Bord na Móna, Electric Ireland, RTE An Post, IDA Ireland, Enterprise Ireland, Fáilte Ireland, and they're working in the different categories such as transport, energy, communication, industrial promotion and tourism. Now, what are the reasons or the advantages of semi-state bodies? Some goods and services are too important to be left in the control of private companies, for example, transport and communications. In a small country like Ireland, the provision of services requiring large amounts of money by two or more private companies would involve wasteful duplication of resources. Number 3, some essential services are not profitable and would not be provided at all by private firms. Semi-state companies have access to funds which are not available to the private sector, for example, the World Bank. Now, what are the problems faced by semi-state bodies or the disadvantages? The boards of such companies may contain people with little knowledge of what is required to successfully run a large-scale business. The board of semi-state bodies are often adopt an unduly conservative approach to risk-taking because of public accountability. Remember now, it is public money that runs these companies. Number 3, government intervention often make it difficult in the day-to-day running of the business. And in some cases, the profit motive is absent. Now, here's a likely question for the leave insert. It would be privatisation. The privatisation, here's the definition, is the sale of a government-owned company to private investors. Advantages of privatisation. The sale of state companies to the private sector would raise money for the government and reduce the need for government borrowing. Many semi-state companies require large injections of money on a regular basis. The state would no longer be responsible for such funding. Number 3. As private companies, they would then have access to finance through the sale of additional shares on the stock market. The state can still exercise some control even though ownership is in private hands. For example, a maximum prices order, for example. Disadvantages of privatisation. Only successful state-owned companies would be privatised, and those with an unsatisfactory commercial record would not be purchased. Number 2, some services which are socially desirable but unprofitable might be discontinued, since the main objective of private companies is profit maximisation. Unemployment could increase as private companies may seek cost-cutting measures to reduce costs. And finally, if the firm in question has a monopoly in the provision of the good or service, it could seek to increase profits by raising its prices.